One of the hunts I look forward to every year is the pursuit of the axis deer on the island of Maui in the great state of Hawaii. One of my very first hunts outside of California was on the Big Island of Hawaii, the largest of all the Hawaiian islands, with one of the top outfitters in the whole state and my good friend, Pat Fisher of Hawaii Safaris. Pat and I have shared many great hunting memories pursuing all the available species on the islands over the last 15 years. The axis deer, also known as the chital deer in India, where they originate from, were introduced to the Hawaiian Islands in the 1860s. Initially found only on the island of Molokai, the deer were introduced to the Lanai and now can be found in the island of Maui as well. By virtue of having a very similar climate and vegetation to their native habitat in India, as well as not having any natural predators, the axis deer have thrived on the Hawaiian Islands over the last 150 years. Having been privileged to hunt a majority of the deer species in the world, I cannot think of a greater adversary than a mature axis deer buck. A very secretive and nocturnal animal, a big buck will hold in thick cover a majority of the day and move very early in the morning and late evening, making the windows to hunt them very small. Having hunted axis deer in all the islands, I have a tremendous appreciation for the great challenge of harvesting an old trophy buck. I have been very lucky to have taken multiple trophies in the past with Pat, and I look forward to doing so again. The ranch we will be hunting has the good fortune to be surrounded by a great big forest and deep canyons, which produce tremendous cover and vegetation to make it possible to have big, mature animals. With Cody joining me on this amazing Hawaiian adventure, I look forward to documenting on film the thrill and the excitement of the pursuit of one of the most challenging deer species to hunt in all the globe. Yeah, I see the herd, Pat. That looks like a pretty decent sized buck, yeah?
Yeah, that looks like a pretty big buck. His body's big.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, there's some length there for sure.
That's a sure, man.
You see the one? Let me take a look real quick.
Yep.
Oh yeah, Pat. No, we're going after this one. Let's do it. Let's go for him. Distance about 270, Ben. Cody, it's almost like he knows we're here. Ready, Pat? Cody?
helping him out. I don't think he's good.
No,
I was like,
I don't think I thought we'd have a deer down by 6:30. Holy Toledo. Wow. A big axis deer is on the ground. Unreal. First evening with Patrick Fisher, Hawaii Safaris. That's the way he rolls, you know. He doesn't believe in going to the second day.
it's like if you were to go off the right edge.
I see it.
Got it?
Yep.
So just maybe while you walk up,
Yep.
hold that so you're ready.
Let's go, Cody. Yes, sir. Holy Toledo. Look at this axis deer. Oh my gosh.
That's what I need, man.
Well, I think Fisher managed to get me my biggest axis deer, beating his former record. Unreal. Fantastic. And an old buck.
He's a good one, all right.
Cody, this is as long as they get. This in the giant category. He's got to be, what, 7, 8 years old?
Yep. That's a beauty, all right. Yeah. Did it again, Matt.
You did it again, man. Our timing is good. Thank you, sir. All right, I am privileged here to be sitting next to a 35-inch axis deer, an animal that I very much enjoy hunting every time I come to Hawaii, and nobody I enjoy hunting more with than my good friend Pat Fisher. I have to say, one of the first big game hunts I did outside of California was with Pat. Came to Hawaii for a week, got in touch with Pat. I was here with my girlfriend, current wife at the time, and I remember coming up every day and hunting with Pat and leaving her in a hotel room by the beach, and she was not a happy camper. So she knew what she was getting into 15 years ago, and Pat was a big part of turning me on to big game hunting. So you know, there are 3 main big game animals that we tried to get on video on this particular hunt, goat and feral sheep on the Big Island. But the prized possession of in any big game hunt on the Hawaiian Islands is the axis deer. It is a tremendous trophy to hunt. Anything above 30 inches is an exceptional animal, and I have been lucky enough to harvest 3 deer north of 33 inches with Pat, and this being the longest. So Pat, thank you again.
Awesome.
I absolutely love hunting here. This is a very special ranch you have here in Maui, and looking forward to doing it again next year, my friend.
I always look forward to doing that.
Excellent.
Thank you.
All right, Pat, so we've shot some big axis deer together, and it's fascinating to me how guys of your caliber that have taken a lot of deer go about judging the antlers. So if you don't mind walking us through what you look for when you see an axis deer, I'd really appreciate it, so people know what they have to look for.
I would say, to me, the easiest way, from their nose to the tip of their ear, when they're just feeding or standing,
Right.
about 15 inches.
Gotcha.
So if you can double that, you got a pretty good one.
Gotcha.
Now, the thing with, doubling that, obviously you have this curve.
Exactly.
But I would say if you kind of use that side measurement, or, kind of trying to look at how high their antlers are compared to their shoulder.
Gotcha. So this one made it easy because he was able to scratch his behind with his antler.
Yeah.
So we didn't have to do too much thinking. So you'd say 30 inch is the magic mark for a trophy buck, but when you start to get free range out, once you start to get north of 32, 33, then you have an exceptional animal. Yeah.
Yep.
Excellent. Well, we appreciate that, Pat. Thank you for telling us
You got it.
a little bit about judging axis deer. Cody, do you see him?
Yeah.
Okay, he is, I think, a shooter. Pat, should I take him? Yeah? Okay. Cody, this is going to be a quick one. Yep, he's moving. I'm going to take it. Two and a half.
Yeah, look at this thing.
Yeah, that's a good pick right there.
Oh yeah, this side's 3 inch.
That's 3, yeah.
Nice.
Good call.
The other side off. Well done,
Go,
man.
Pat.
Got your Hawaiian boar.
I got that one board. Wow.
Oh, you hit him perfect.
He there was a lot of blood.
Oh yeah.
Look at that, Cody, right there, right up against the tree.
Spun around. Nice. That's about as big as ours get.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah. No, I'm glad.
That's over 3.
That's over 3. That's a hell of a boar, man.
And he's broken.
That's a hell of a boar.
Oh yeah.
I don't think I could have shot him any better.
Oh yeah. It's the only thing we haven't shot in this ranch.
Yeah. Yeah.
A big boar. Nice.
Sitting next to one of the hardest trophies to get in Hawaii, a big trophy boar. These boars are so nocturnal, very rarely do you see them during daylight hours, but we were lucky enough as we were checking out one of the pastures here for access deer to catch one making a late arrival into the thick. It was not an ideal setup and an ideal opportunity. He was about to head into the thick and we had to set up quickly and get a quick shot off. I was not quite sure if we put it exactly where it needed to be, so there were some tense moments as we tracked some blood. But these boars are tough, man, and he made about 100-yard run in the thick, but we had definitely hit it well, and we've secured ourselves a trophy boar from Maui. I'm very pleased to have gotten one. It's been missing in the 4 or 5 years I've hunted here, so looking forward to adding this to the collection. All right, we are here on our 3rd evening, and we just got to the high point where we found our first big shooter. And Pat just located very early into our arrival here 5 bucks hanging out together at the end. They came out a lot earlier than they did yesterday evening. It looks like we have maybe 1, if not 2 shooters. So we're analyzing the situation and we're gonna go after them just now. He has a really good width. Pat, as soon as he turns, I'm going to take him. He looks super impressive. Yeah. 300, yeah?
Metal post right there.
Yeah.
The wood one. Metal one. That clump of grass.
Yeah.
I think he's just like.
Okay. All right, let's go. He's a nice buck, Pat. That is a very positive surprise.
Yep.
Very nice.
Yep.
Holy Toledo.
He's tall.
He's very tall.
Well done, my friend. Oh yeah.
That's a really nice buck, dude. Look at how he bends. His mass is pretty decent, Pat.
Oh yeah. That's a nice deer.
And he's an old deer, man. That's what I really always want, man. Go on the bend. Oh my goodness. That's a really nice deer. We are next to our second really super, I'm not going to call him a giant, but he's just short of that. He is in the very, very good category. And he is deserving of being exported to Los Angeles to enjoy the good weather there. But in all seriousness, it's an old buck, which is always a really big deal for me, unless it's a super giant at 4 years of age. But Pat, wouldn't you say this is at least a 6-year-old deer? Yeah. And we certainly finished the Pat Fisher double with a super nice, super wide 34, 33-inch axis deer. I couldn't be happier.
Yeah.
Exceptional. Two exceptional animals. We're going to call this the Hawaii Safaris double, 2 giant bucks in 3 days. I can't really, the words escape me to describe the ability to take bucks of this caliber, but Pat Fisher and Hawaii Safaris pulls it off as always. This is a second deer we took late evening again, a big giant old Maui buck. I couldn't be happier with how the safari has gone. I, as always, thank Pat for putting this all together. We've hunted now for 15 years, and we have put together a heck of a collection of just about every animal Hawaii has to offer. So I look forward to hunting with Pat for many years to come. We appreciate the assist from Tristan and Chaz, who've been helping us canvass the ranch. And the results are 2 great big giant axis deer here in Maui. The ability to hunt in Hawaii, surrounded by such captivating tropical beauty, gives me the chance to combine one of my favorite destinations with my great passion. This hunt, with my tremendous outfitter, Pat Fisher, added another great chapter to the collection of adventures I have been fortunate enough to enjoy on the Hawaiian Islands. A great bonus was having Cody with me to capture the stunning vistas and grand animals only Hawaii has to offer. We have always organized this hunt towards the end of June and early July to take in the rut, which enhances the opportunity to harvest a trophy axis buck. This year was another great example of the importance of hunting during this window when, on the very first evening, we spotted a massive deer surrounded by his does quite early in the evening. Having spotted him from a high vantage point, we had to hustle to put ourselves in a position before the deer disappeared into the forest. Having some open ground to cover, we managed to take one of the giants this area is renowned for. A great surprise was in store for us the next morning during our deer hunt when we glassed up a big boar making his way into the thick. It turned out to be a very quick opportunity, but we were able to convert on what turned out to be a tremendous older boar, which is one of the hardest animals to collect in a spot and stalk hunt in Hawaii. It was a great privilege for me to have the ability to collect a second deer if the opportunity presented itself. And on the third evening, we converted on a buck that was longer and heavier horned than the great giant we harvested on the first evening. There are very few places anywhere one can take two axis deer that exceeded 34 and 35 inches in horn length on a free range deer hunt. There is no doubt that the success I have enjoyed hunting one of my favorite deer species is due to the hard work and experience of my good friend and outfitter, Pat Fisher. I look forward to many more great adventures in the years ahead, hunting the remarkable axis deer in truly one of my favorite places in the entire world.